We've got Michael Pennica here. You know, Michael, I'm going to start out with a little bit of your background because it ain't your first rodeo. You didn't just decide to do this last week.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. This is actually our 20th year. This will be my 20th year in the financial business.
Wow, you started when you were 15?
No, I think it was like 14 and a half or something like that. But, yeah, it's amazing. It's been a great career. And you know, poor kid coming from Cleveland, Ohio. Don't hold that against me. Raised by my grandparents. You know, they were on Social Security. They didn't have a whole lot of money, and the Air Force was my ticket out. And I'll always be very, very thankful, you know, for the Air Force for paying for my education. But when I got out, I wanted to do something different, and I was looking for a career. And a small startup company actually hired me, which later got bought out with, you know, by a much, much bigger company. And then we went private, actually what we call independent, several years ago. You know, because big firms, you know, they've got their own agenda, and if you don't necessarily agree with it, you either have to salute, you know, smartly or pack up your stuff and leave. And I think all of us know that. And it was okay. I mean, it's all a great learning experience. That's what life's all about.
Well, and you really gave me an education when you and I have talked a little bit before coming on the show about a lot of different things. And, you know, I think most people, you know, I mean, they think, okay, well, financial advisor, maybe they've got a kind of an idea about who they are and what they do. But I think that there's also a lot of people out there that have that misconception that say, well, if I'm not sitting on a couple $100,000 or $1 million or something, I don't need them, or that they don't want me. That's a little bit of where I really want to start out with Pennica Financial Group, because your philosophy, and I love this, you're here to help people just like me that are maybe starting over again, people that maybe, you know, they're not sitting on hundreds of thousands of dollars. You know, your philosophy at Pennica Financial Group is a lot different from other financial advisors.
You know, it really is. What I like to do is I like to try to educate people in terms of our massive industry. We have a huge industry called financial services, a multi-trillion-dollar industry. And I would put companies basically in three categories. You know, the big brokers, which are now owned by the big banks as a result of the 2008 financial implosion. You know, good companies such as, you know, Merrill and whatnot. But their business plan really is, you know, they've got to generate a lot of revenue because their overheads are.
So that's why they're looking for people of high net worth in a lot of cases?
Yeah, that's right. You know, unfortunately what happens is, in that scenario, is that they knew who their clients are who are going to generate enough revenue for them so that they can actually, you know, do the things that they need to do. And you know, much larger firms are typically that way, or bank-owned firms. And then, of course, you've got the big insurance companies, and obviously they make financial products. That's you know, that's what it's all about.
They make them up sometimes.
Well,
that's another show.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to do another show on that.
Yeah.
But you know, good companies that make their own products, and consequently, you know, they have to sell those products. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, you know, but I would say that if an advisor works directly for them, you know, sometimes there's a little bit of pressure there to be able to sell their own company versus somebody else.
Well, it's just like we were talking about that before. It's just like if you're going out to buy a car and you're on the Ford dealership looking at a car, generally the salesman's not going to tell you, you know, well, for what you've told me, I think that Chevrolet is a lot better deal for you. You ought to go across the street and buy that. I mean, it's just not going to happen. And so, I mean, I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying that they sell what they have in their inventory that they make money off of. That's what they're there for.
That's right. That's right. So I'd lead you to the third one, and that would be the independent model. And that's what we represent, actually. Pennica Financial Group is an independent financial company in that we don't have any pressures to represent a product provider, one product provider over another one. We typically do our due diligence through our broker-dealer and our registered investment advisor, and we represent the companies that we feel are going to be best for our clients and our population base.
And so, if you could sum this up, okay, a financial advisor, what are they, or in a perfect world, what should they be for clients?
You know, that's the thing that's really confusing, Paul, out there about financial advisors, because everybody has, all financial advisors, I would tell you, are not created equally. You know, some advisors have ideas in terms of how their practice should go, what they want to represent. Some companies just do investments. Some companies just do insurance. You know, it's really crazy for the consumer. But what I would tell you is that a good financial advisor is somebody who's going to look at all your stuff, all your financial stuff, in a comprehensive manner and try to make sense of it for you and be able to coach you through that. I always tell my clients, when you hire me, I'm really your financial head coach, and I have a lot of assistants. I have a lot of IE companies that I can go to and a lot of back office that I can go to and tap into and get the information that I need, and also the financial products that are appropriate for the client.
Well, and the thing about this is that right now I see this as somebody like you, and especially with Pennica Financial Group, that it's so important to have somebody like you on a person's side because things have changed radically. It ain't what it used to be out there.
You know, that is so true. My heart goes out for a lot of hardworking Americans, middle-class people. You know, as I mentioned to you, I was raised in a middle-class family. And it's really tough for them. And today's world has gotten much, much more complex. I mean, just go over Christmas and you look at some of you buy a toy for a kid, and it looks like you have to have an engineering degree to put it together. I mean, it's just absolutely amazing.
It's not like it used to be, just put the wheels and the handlebar on it.
So just imagine about financial products and services and try to get all that stuff to work together. And is this going to be the right product? And trying to understand the pricing behind it and what the client is paying. A lot of this stuff sometimes is not transparent to the client. You need somebody, if you're not going to do it yourself and you don't feel comfortable doing it yourself, and let's face it, a lot of people out there are focused on their careers, on their jobs.
Sure.
That's the important thing. Their family, obviously they got to have family time. Who wants to be their own financial advisor? Not a whole lot of people, in my opinion.
Well, and you wouldn't perform surgery on yourself either. I mean, that's why we have folks like you here that to educate people about what is available out there and why it's so important for them to engage people. And I really want people to know, and before we take a break, just to let them know that it doesn't have to be, there again, a situation of them having a large sum of money in order to come to you to take advantage of your expertise. And it's not really going to cost them a ton of money either. Am I correct?
You're absolutely correct. Our firm is really built on the premise that we are not going to have account minimums. And you will find that actually with a lot of other firms, that they first need to understand in terms of what your portfolio is and mainly how much, because they have certain minimums. And I would tell you that that really blocks or is a barrier to a lot of actually clients becoming
keeps them out of the game. It's a closed loop.
It really does. It really does, and it makes them feel bad too. It makes them feel like, I'm not really worthy of someone's attention.
Right.
We never want to do that in our company. We built our company on that premise, and as long as I own the company, it's always going to be that way.
Securities offered through J.W. Cole Financial, JWC, member of FINRA and SIPC. Advisory services offered through J.W. Cole Advisors, JWCA. Pennica Financial Group and JWC, JWCA are independent entities. Opinions included in this broadcast are based on information believed to be reliable but not guaranteed. Materials included within the radio show should not be deemed as an offer to buy or a solicitation to sell securities. J.W. Cole Financial does not research or make a market in securities.